You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN E-Mini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things E-Mini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borg. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Friday, 10th day of May, 2024. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. We do 2 live broadcasts every trading day. First broadcast is private, that's members only, and those who are taking our 1-week free trial. If you have not taken the 1-week free trial, go to mytradingiq.com, and at the very top of the page, there's a link that says 5-day free trial. No credit card required. Just click the link, fill out the registration form. Make sure you fill it out properly because it's an automated process, and if you don't fill it out right, then we won't get it and you won't get a trial and nobody wins. But if you just take a minute to fill it out right, you will get it. And typically same day, we'll get your desktop set up, get your indicators indicating, and today being a Friday, you'll have access to the indicators over the weekend, but it won't count against your trial. Your trial will officially begin Monday morning, and so you'll have all next week, Monday through Friday, 5 consecutive trading days. And when you take the trial, you're not just taking a trial of the live training room, but you're taking a trial of the whole CFRN experience. You get everything that our passport holders get for a week, no credit card required, so that you can make a well-informed and intelligent decision at the end of the 5 days as to whether or not trading is right for you. Again, mytradingiq.com, top of the page, click the link, fill out the form, and then we'll be in touch. Get your desktop set up today, get your indicators indicating today. You'll have the weekend to kind of experiment. There are markets that don't sleep, that do trade over the weekend. So when the live training room opens Monday morning, or actually we open Sunday night, for the Logic 247 alerts and the concierge trade alerts, and the training room opens Monday morning. But get signed up today, you'll have all of next week, plus this weekend. Now, each day at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, when the live training room ends, we take a 30-minute break and come back for the afternoon broadcast, this one, where we're actually simulcasting. Now, there's going to be days when you're out of the office, away from your desktop, but you still want to join live. You can do that. And there'll be days when you're busy and you can't join live, but you want to get caught up later. You can do that. Now, that's our YouTube channel. So we'll explain how to do that. But first, let me tell you the best way to join the afternoon broadcast each and every day is to do this. Go to mytradingiq.com, scroll down to where it says afternoon broadcast. Click that link, fill out that 30-second registration form, and you're done. You only have to do it once. What will happen going forward is every trading day, about an hour before this broadcast starts, you'll get an email. In that email, there is a link. So at 12 noon Eastern, all you have to do is click the link in the email, and it will automatically log you into our platform. Benefit of doing it that way is you have access to the question box so that you can ask questions and participate in the discussion. Now, for those days when you're out of the office or busy, that's when you want to be sure to use our YouTube channel. And it's very easy to remember. youtube.com/CFRN. You already know the YouTube part, so really all you have to remember is CFRN. Not only do we broadcast live every trading day on our YouTube channel, as we're doing right now, we also archive each and every daily broadcast. Currently, there's over 2,500 daily episodes archived for your educational and viewing pleasure. And if you're new to the world of CFRN, it's a great way to get to know who we really are. Not just today, not just this week, but thanks to the power of YouTube, you can scroll back 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, even more. Just pick some random days. Watch a little bit. Fast forward a little bit. Pick another day. Do the same thing. You'll discover the thread of connectivity, the thread of continuity that's woven through each and every daily broadcast and our very vibrant trading community. youtube.com/CFRN. Let's get started with our daily devotional and a word of prayer. Then we'll get into the markets, and about 12:45, Michael will join us, give us a recap of what happened this morning in the live training room. And then we'll go live on the TradingView platform for 30 minutes, do some live trading, and then I'll come back and wrap things up with our good word for the day. The topic of our devotion this week, it's really a question. What is God doing? We've all wondered that. Today's scripture is Proverbs 3, verses 5 through 12. I'm going to share with you from the Message translation. Trust God from the bottom of your heart. Don't try to figure out everything on your own. Listen for God's voice in everything you do, everywhere you go. He's the one who will keep you on track. Don't assume that you know it all. Run to God. Run from evil. Your body will glow with health. Your very bones will vibrate with life. Honor God with everything you own. Give Him the first and the best. Your barns will burst. Your wine vats will brim over. But don't, dear friend, resent God's discipline. Don't sulk under His loving correction. It's the child He loves that God corrects. A father's delight is behind all this. Proverbs 3, verses 5 through 12. So, we all like options. And I'm not talking about options trading. I just mean in life in general. We like to have options. We like to know what we're getting into. We like that sense of control that comes from considering a proposal and deciding whether or not we want to go with it. And for most areas of our lives, this is a good way to operate. It's wise to consider your options and carefully choose the best course of action. But when it comes to hearing from God, we need to pre-decide what our answer will be. When we approach God from a mindset of, God, please show me what you want me to do, and then I'll decide if I want to do it or not. That's a recipe to not hear very much from Him. We can hear from God and see what He's up to so much clearer when our attitude is, God, before you say a word, my answer is yes. Now that sounds scary. What if God asked me to do something really difficult? What if He totally changes my plans? Well, that happens. But do you really believe that you know better than the one who not only sees the future, but also created you? God knows you better than you know yourself. Every time I've argued with God or felt like He was taking my life in a direction I wasn't really sure I wanted to go, I've been so grateful in the end. It always seems to work out better than if I had just gotten my way in the first place. To really hear from God, to see what He's trying to do in your life, you must come from a place of pre-surrender. The issue is not what might be asked of you, but who is doing the asking. God is good, so good. He loves us more than we can fully understand. Whatever He asks you to do, even if it's really difficult, it is absolutely going to lead you somewhere better than you imagined. You can say yes with confidence before God has even spoken a word. That's the kind of absolute trust God is looking for. And we can see and hear Him so much better when that is the condition of our hearts. Join me in a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, thank You for the guidance and assurance that comes from trusting in You with all of our hearts. Help us, Lord, to surrender our lives completely to Your will and to acknowledge You in all of our ways. May we seek Your wisdom and guidance in every decision we make, knowing that You are faithful to direct our paths. Lord, we confess that there are times when we rely too much on our own understanding and fail to completely trust You. Forgive us, Lord, and help us to cultivate a spirit of humility and dependence on You. Thank You, Lord, for Your discipline and correction, which are expressions of Your love for us. Help us to receive Your correction with humility and to learn from Your instruction, knowing that You discipline those You love. Lord, we pray that Your grace would abound in our lives, enabling us to walk in obedience to Your word. May Your Spirit lead us in the paths of righteousness, and may we bring honor and glory to your name in everything we do. We thank you, God, for your faithfulness and for your love. May we continue to trust in you with all our hearts and to acknowledge you in all of our ways. It's in Jesus' name, believe and pray. And everybody said, amen. Amen. And happy Friday. Let me give you the numbers from around the world. Start here in the U.S. with the cash markets, or the indices, as they're called. If we can get some fresh data. There we go. Currently, the Dow's up 105 points. The NASDAQ is down 22. S&P 500 is up 3.5. Russell 2000 down 15. That's the closest thing to a mover and shaker that we have in the indices, and the markets are split. As futures traders, we like to see the four major indices all green or all red. Doesn't matter which color, as long as they are the same color. It's when we're presented with divided markets as we are today. We got two green, two red. It's kind of like a tug of war. And the result is that we tend to have less follow through on our individual trades. With futures, it's easy to be short or long at the drop of a hat. In fact, you can be short, long, and short again all in the same hour. That's what the chart in front of you is telling you to do. Shorting stocks can sometimes be a little more difficult, but with futures, the door swings both ways just as easily. In the commodity basket, crude oil is down 61 cents, trading 78.65 last. Gold up $29.80, trading 23.69.90 last. That's a gain of over 1.25%. Silver up 8 cents, trading 28.44 last. The Asian markets at the close, the Nikkei posted a gain of 155 points. The Shanghai was basically unchanged, but the Hang Seng gained 425 points, which is almost 2.5%. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE up 52, the DAX up 86, CAC up 31. No movers, no shakers there. So we had a green day in Asia. It was a green day for the UK. But as I mentioned, it is a mixed Radio Friday here in the US of A. We've got the Dow and the S&P barely in the green. We've got the NASDAQ and the Russell barely in the red. So we'll see how that changes, if it changes, between now and the end of today's broadcast. We had one major economic report this morning, and not so pretty. U.S. consumers are becoming increasingly worried about the trajectory of the U.S. economy amid sticky inflation. I love these terms they come up with. First, Janet said it would be transitory. And so now they've latched onto the word sticky, which means it ain't going anywhere soon. So U.S. consumers are rightfully worried because of the inflation and the fact that high interest rates are going to be here probably a whole lot longer than anyone anticipated. The University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey that was released this morning revealed a 13% decline in overall sentiment during the month of May. The index reading for the month came in at 67.4, its lowest level in 6 months, and well below the economist expectations for a reading of 76.2. It's quite a miss. Year-ahead inflation expectations hit 3.5% in today's report, up from 3.2% last month. Longer-run inflation expectations rose to 3.1%, up from 3% last month. While consumers have been reserving judgment for the past few months, they now perceive negative developments on a number of dimensions. They expressed worries that inflation, unemployment, and interest rates may all be moving in an unfavorable direction in the year ahead. The drop in sentiment comes after several months of data showing that inflation's downward path hasn't been as smooth as many economists had hoped. Through the first 3 months of the year, the core personal consumption expenditures, or the PCE index, which strips out the cost of food and energy because, hey, who drives a car or eats a steak, right? A lot less than used to. But they stripped that out. And it's closely watched by the Fed. That rose, the PCE index rose at an annualized pace of 4.4%. This tracked significantly higher than the Fed's 2% goal, reversing a trend of significant easing of inflation to end 2023. In recent months, inflation has shown a lack of further progress toward our 2% objective, and we remain highly attentive to inflation risks. That's a comment from Jerome Powell on May 1st. And while Powell said it's unlikely, now this is in quotes, unlikely the next move for the Fed is an interest rate hike, the sticky inflation data appears to have put the Fed on a path to hold off on rate cuts longer than the markets had hoped at the beginning of the year. Meanwhile, various economic data releases have come in tepid, such as the most recent weaker than expected jobs report and data showing a contraction in manufacturing activity in April. On Thursday, weekly jobless claims rose unexpectedly, hitting their highest level since August of 2023. And Powell has talked extensively about how consumers' feelings around inflation is something the central bank watches and will play a role in inflation returning to the 2% goal. That's a whole lot of words about a whole lot of nothing. Okay, we know what it's like when we pull up to the gas pump. We know what it's like when we go to the grocery store. And with all of his words, what Powell is trying to tell us is expect more of the same. Now, crucial readings on both inflation and consumer spending will come next week, with retail sales and the consumer price index for April coming out next Wednesday. So we'll see how that rattles the markets. But for now, let's go the Logic 247. That's our 24/7 around the clock E-mini alert service. It's not just the E-minis though, it's also crude and gold and euro and bonds. Because we've had a pretty flat sideways week, we've only got a total of 36 alerts so far this week since the markets opened Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. An average week's about 50, and there could be some more alerts today if the charts warrant it. Now this recap was done at 6:30 a.m. Eastern this morning, and so this afternoon, once the markets close, Valerie will complete the recap for the week and post that in the discussion group and in the alert channel. So as of 6:30 a.m. this morning, those 36 alerts that we've issued so far this week, we're still waiting on the outcome of 6. Some of those may have resolved themselves since the time the recap was done. That left us with 30 actionable alerts, of which 2 or 7% would have been stopped out based on market structure and a very simple process that we teach all of our passport holders in their one-on-one mentoring sessions. Over the last 301 weeks, we have issued over 16,600 individual handcrafted alerts. That's right, over 16,600. And what we've averaged on a weekly basis is 20% or less of the alerts being stopped out, again based on market structure and that simple process we teach all of our passport holders in their one-on-one mentoring sessions. So while the total number of alerts issued is a little lower than it was last week, percentage is very good. Remember, the average over the 301 weeks is 20% or less, so 7% is not too shabby. But we're thankful for that. Long before we had Logic 247, we had the concierge trade alerts. And they're a little bit different. Logic alerts can come out anytime around the clock, 2 a.m., 2 p.m., whenever opportunity presents itself. But the CTAs are published as a static report shortly after the Globex open each evening. Now, of course, today's the Friday session. The Friday session began last night at 6 p.m. Eastern. Sunday night, this coming Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern, the markets will open, and that will be the beginning of the Monday session. Now, that's true for futures traders, not true for stock traders. Stock traders have to wait till Monday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, although there is talk from the New York Stock Exchange about going 24, I don't know if it's 24/5 or 24/7. There was an article I shared with you, I think last week, that they are considering being open 24 hours. And really it makes sense because even though the U.S. stock exchanges close every day, every weekday at 4 p.m. Eastern, at about 8 p.m. Eastern, the Asian markets open, and traders there trade the same stocks that we trade here. And then at 3 a.m. Eastern, the London exchange opens, and European traders trade all the same stocks that we trade here. That's why when you open your chart each morning and the bell goes off at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, you see a gap. Almost every day you're going to see a gap higher or a gap lower. If it's a stock that has volume and volatility. And you probably wonder, why is there always a gap? Well, because those stocks that you trade from 9:30 to 4 every day, they're traded by the Asian traders overnight, European traders overnight. So when the market opens Monday morning, each morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, that gap represents what traders did with those stocks overnight. So to give U.S. traders access to trading stocks while the Asian traders are trading and while the European traders are trading, doesn't seem like such a bad idea. We'll see how it pans out and if they actually do it. Now, when this report comes out, it's usually shortly after the Globex opens, so it's 10 minutes into the Friday session when the report came out. First thing you want to do is go to the 30-minute chart, whatever markets you trade, and make a note where price is at this time. It's always going to be between these two numbers. Then draw a line in the sand at the long target, a line in the sand at the short target. Those will serve as great visual cues to help you stay on the right side of the street. If price gets above the 30-minute BVC, it's attempting to reach the long target. If price gets below the 30-minute BVC, it's attempting to reach the short target. BBC just stands for bull bear cross. It's the green line you see on all my charts. When price gets above the green line, we're bullish and anticipate higher prices relative to whatever time frame we're looking at. When price crosses below the green line, then we're bearish and anticipate lower prices, again, relative to whatever time frame we're looking at. And when it comes to the alerts, both logic and CTAs, we're always looking at the 30-minute chart. That's where the alerts are created. It's our roadmap chart. Helps us to see, should we be going long, should we be going short. In the Logic 247 channel, as I said, there's over 16,600 individual alerts. Every one of them is a trend trade, as defined by the 30-minute chart, price, and the BBC. There's nothing wrong with counter trend trading. It just doesn't have the same high probability, low risk characteristic as a trend trade. Once you master trading with the trend, then if you decide you want to try counter trend trading, go right ahead. But in the beginning, wow, that was a big catastrophe. But in the beginning, you want to do what puts the odds in your favor. This is a business based on probabilities. So whatever you can do, the probabilities in your favor, that is exactly what you want to do. Now, with the logic alerts, I look left for you, and I give you the potential obstacles to the trade reaching its final trade to target. If it's a long alert, I'm looking left for previous swing highs on the 30-minute chart. If it's a short alert, I'm looking left for previous swing lows on the 30-minute chart. Those previous swing highs can become current resistance, and those previous swing lows can become current support. Now, the purpose of the alerts is to help you learn how to read the chart, how to understand what the chart is telling you. Most people, when they look at a chart, it absolutely makes no sense whatsoever. There's just all these candles moving up, moving down, okay? But There's a reason behind it all. And our goal is for you to become self-sufficient. And if you want to become someone who actually trades for a living, then you can't depend on someone else to tell you when to get in and when to get out. You've got to get to the point where you look at a chart and instantly see where the windows of opportunity are. That's the purpose of the alerts, not so you can just trade them and not have to worry about learning how to trade. The purpose of the alerts is to help you learn how to trade. So with the CTAs, you're stepping up your game and learning to look left yourself. You're also learning how price behaves at a weekly trading zone. That is very important because price is always trying to reach a weekly trading zone. From the moment the markets open Sunday night, they close Friday afternoon. If price is above the 30-minute BBC, it's trying to reach the zone overhead. If price is below the 30-minute BBC, it's trying to reach the zone below. Published the zones since December 14th of 2009. Almost 15 years. They come out Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. And once they're published, carved in stone, the entire, not change in any way whatsoever. Beyond that, just resist the urge to make it more complicated. As long as you know which way the wind is blowing, it's pretty simple to reach your goal today. So let's take a peek at where we are on the daily chart. Okay. Now, the market has done a good job this week. We overcame BBC. Oh, that goes back to the third. Overcame the BBC, overcame the trend line, overcame the 62% fib extension. Then we came back to test it and the step line. And then we put in a high at 52.64. Now, if you look at the horizontal line on my cursor, we spiked above the bearish cross. Been talking about that all week as potential resistance. Spiked it today, but we haven't traded all the way back to it. Price is well off the high of the day. And you'll notice the black step line is starting to hook right a little bit. Now, when the step line gets directly below price, it can be potential support. Same with blue and climbing. So we've got potential support here, 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 here. All the things we had to overcome on the way up, those are all potential support on the way back down. So how we close today will be very important. It will tell us if the institutional traders have enough confidence in this rally to take it home over the weekend. Now, no matter what you trade, whether it's a different futures market, individual stocks, crypto, Forex, ETF, I encourage you to spend 2 minutes with the daily chart each and every day. The institutional traders look at daily, weekly, and monthly charts, the way you and I look at 30-minute charts, 5-minute charts, tick charts, and range charts. Has to do with account size. They can stay in a profitable position longer than you or I might be comfortable with, and they can definitely withstand a far deeper drawdown than you or I can. The size they trade in literally moves price. So by starting your trading session, looking over the shoulder of the deep pockets to see what they're doing, that can help you to go for the day early on, and then you can go do life. Whatever it is God created you to do. Here's the 30-minute chart of the ES. The vertical line separates today, Friday, from Thursday. Scroll back. You can see Wednesday and Tuesday, and boy, has it been a flat one. Although we did start to move higher yesterday afternoon. This was the opening candle last night. This kind of waddled sideways. We overcame red and falling. It turned into blue and climbing. And that's a signal right there in and of itself. Get long. This candle opened at 52.46 and a quarter. Just call it 52.47. Up to the target, 3 points. Then we consolidated sideways for an hour and a half. Then we put a little icing on the cake, took us up to 52.60. Price always reverts to the mean. In our case, the mean is green. It's called the BBC, bull bear cross. Bullish above it, bearish below it. Where are we now? Or below it. Put in a high, 52.64 today. But now we're back below the BBC. We got red and falling overhead. Now it looks like we are consolidating sideways and have been for a couple of hours. So if the step line crosses red and falling, then we'll get most likely a retracement back to the BBC. But if price were to start dropping, want to look left and see where your next obstacle is. Of course, you've got an obstacle here, 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 definitely here. Short target, and then the bullish cross. Wherever you have a bullish cross that leads to an extended move, the first time price revisits that area. Whether it's a day, a week, a month, or a year, will almost always be good support. Same is true. Bearish cross. Bearish cross is when the red line gets below the green line. Bullish cross is when the blue line is above the green line. So we've hit the long target. We'll see if we make it short target. On the Dow, here's where we opened last night. Again, sideways for hours. Finally got above red and falling, turning it into blue and climbing, and it walked us right up the target. When the market finds resistance, it will go look for support. Pull back to the BBC, pulls more often than it doesn't. That support sent us up to the highest weekly trading zone, 39,680/85. You can see that we're now back below it. Price is below the BBC. We got red and falling overhead. Price is sort of trapped right here. Red and falling resistance, the step line support. So you got to be patient. Either let price break to the upside, get above red and falling, or drop below the step line. Then you got potential support here, here, and then you got to look here. The areas most likely to find support. Russell, that's where we opened last night. Ran right up to the long target. Got a little pullback. Ran up to the zone. That's not the highest weekly zone. There's still one more above it. When price encounters a weekly zone, 70% of the time what you get is consolidation. 20% of the time is rejection. 10% of the time is the slice. So we found resistance at the zone, 2092/93. And then we found support at the zone, 2069/70. Target was at 71. We've now dropped below the zone got a bullish cross and a previous swing low right here at 20, call it 2061. Notice the step line is starting to hook right a little bit. So wait for price to take out this low. Back 2062 down to, even that's a little tight. You could go 2063 to 2062. That would. And then if it continues to drop, you can stay with it. On the NQ, we opened and immediately ran into the weekly zone overhead. Resistance. Price moves up to a zone, we expect resistance to prove otherwise. It drops to a zone, we expect support to prove otherwise. These are the zones that were published Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Here they are on Friday, still doing their job. Resistance sends us to support. Pullback holds more often than not. So we get a leg and a retracement. Pullback holds. Get another leg that takes us all the way to the target. From there, we go back to the BVC, and again the pullback holds. Sends us back to the target, through the target. If you look left, find out why. Price stopped right there. And then we dropped. All the way down 188.5. Right now we're just consolidating at the zone. Remember, that's what happens 70% of the time. We're below the BBC, got red and falling overhead, but the step line is right below. One is resistance, the other support. So let price break up into this area before attempting any longs. And I would let price break 165 to 155. That would be my trade on the short side if the market starts to deteriorate. On crude, here's where we opened. Made a run to the target. Overshot it a little bit. Got a drop. Right back to the previous bullish cross. We have a bullish cross that leads to an extended move. The first time price revisits the area will almost always be good support. And it was. Support sent us to resistance. Double top. Came a triple top. And then we dropped below the BBC. We took out this low. Ran down to the short target. And then we traded through the zone below that. And if you're short right now, or consider getting short, wait for price to get to 78.30 before going short, and make sure that you're prepared to exit that trade at 77.85. 77.90 just to be safe, because you've got a bullish cross that led to an extended move. You got to expect price. Respect that as potential support if we continue lower. On gold, here's where we opened and right up to the target. Overshot the target. Still got one more zone overhead. But we pulled back to the VVC, the pullback held, consolidated. We overcame red and falling so far. Now, 2377 to 2379, that would be $200 per contract traded. That's a nice little opportunity right there. But anticipate resistance here, and again here. And if this high gets taken out, this is the highest weekly zone. Michael should be here. A minute. He might be having trouble logging in. Get this wrapped up. Silver. Okay, here's where we opened last night. Attempted higher, came back to the zone, and the BBC price always reverts to the mean. Pullback held, that sent us straight up to the target and beyond. Left, you'll see where that resistance came from. Resistance sent us looking for support, which we found just above this low put in yesterday. That bounced us back up to the weekly zone where we are consolidating. This is the highest weekly trading zone this week for silver. Traded well above it. When that happens, by close of business on Friday, we expect price to be at or below the highest weekly zone. There are weeks where some of the markets close above the highest zone or below the lowest zone, but they're few. There's been a few handfuls over the last 15 years. So right now we're just consolidating sideways at the highest zone. And there's Michael.
I am here.
Okay. Euro, not much to talk about. We did drop to the zone below. Not made it to either target as of yet. Okay, Michael.
Okay. All right. I will grab it and bring it over here. And a little impromptu meeting. You're in the break. All right.
All right, looks good.
Good. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Friday, the 10th day of May, 2024. Now, if you have not taken a free trial with us and you'd like to, go here to mytradingiq.com and sign up for the free trial. Click on the purple button. There is no credit card required for the trial. All right, no credit card at all required for this trial. Sign up for it right there, and you will be brought to, actually, it's going to be a different page. I just tried to save that page. Let me go back out and see if I can. It'll bring it to a sign up page. Okay, it'll look like this page, kind of, except it's not going to say this webinar has ended. I did all that, and it kicked me off when I tried to save it. Yeah, let me try it one more time. I got to do it from a different browser. Anyway, when you do all that, we ask for your first name, your last name, your email, and your phone number. And then down at the bottom, if you want to, you can give us your TradingView login ID or your NinjaTrader machine ID, whichever of those you have. We'll take either one or both if you have them and get you set up, get your indicators indicating for you for the trial. It's best if you do that at the beginning of the trial, okay? So I'd show you what that page looks like, but I can't right now. It's not loading on my other screen here. Let me try it. I might be able to get to it from right here. Nope. Can't get to it from there either. Anyway, I put all the changes in it. It's just not letting me save it. Let's try it from here. Let's see. Nope. It's not going to let me do it there either. Let's just close that one. Anyway, let's get into the spreadsheet. If you're going to look at the spreadsheet, you have to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom, all the way down to the bottom. We had a pretty good day today. Didn't take too long to get the goal. Today, as I said, is the 10th day of May 2024. We lost 20 on the EQ, we made 22 on the Russell, we made 14 on the YM, and 6 on the ES, put us at plus 155 in the morning session. Today it took 10 minutes and 3 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $2,975. That is with 17 contracts on. So that's $175 is what that is. I did it 2 days in a row. That's kind of odd. And it took a total of 22 trades this morning. So on the month now, we're at $2,985 over 8 business days, averaging $373 per day. And on the year, we're at $36,720, averaging $412 per day on the year. Now, if you were to quit trading when you get your goal for the day, right, you follow the 24/20 blueprint that says you quit trading when you get your goal for the day, and you add one contract for every $2,000 you earn. If you have the same goal as me, then that should work out to be a contract a month, roughly. Because there's about 20 days in a month, and my goal for the day is $100 in profit. So if I get that $100 in profit times 20 days, it's $2,000. So it should work out to one contract a month, just about. On days like today where I get more than the goal, anything over 1,700 is more than the goal. So most of the days so far this month, 6 out of 8 days so far this month, I've gotten more than the goal. I was at a higher price than the actual goal when I got the goal. In those cases, it would bring me to getting that extra contract sooner if I were doing it on a $2,000 basis, but I do it on a month by month. Anyway, if you had one contract per month, so far this year, you would have only had to work 32.5 hours and be trading 5 contracts right now, starting this year. If you started with me in January of last year, you'd be at 17 contracts right now. But with 5 contracts, you'd be averaging $1,077 so far this year. And with 17 contracts, you'd be averaging $5,818 so far this year. Okay. So I started the 24/20 blueprint 17 months ago, and anybody starting it this year would have these numbers. And anybody starting with me last year would have these numbers right now. Be up $189,095, quitting when you get your goal for the day. Those 32.5 hours, $189,000 so far this year. All right, that was a lot of stuff. Let's get into the actual trades. Now, we did have a fair number of trades today. I think we traded every market a decent number of times. This is the YM. I'm going to shut off the target lines on it. Okay, it gets kind of busy when it's in there like that. It's thinking about shutting it off. There we go. I'll stretch it out a little bit. Stretch it, crunch it, move it around. I'm going to slide this all the way over to the edge like this. Okay. Here we go. So our first trade in here on the YM was a break even right there. And then our next trade on the YM, this is a 4 range. Let's go back to this range. Our next trade on the YM was right here. And we picked up 20 ticks on that one. All right, so that is where we actually got the goal for the day. It wasn't the first trade though, and we actually had to trade on the Russell as well. But we picked up 15 ticks. So the 15 and the 20 got us to 35 altogether, and that put us at 175 total, where we got the goal for the day. So this was where we got the goal. I think. No, the 15 on the Russell was. Anyway, the next trade that we actually took was the break even right there. And then as we scroll forward, the next trade we took in here, we stopped out. So we went from 20 down to 10. And then we got 4 more ticks on this to get us to 14. And that is where we stopped trading. There were no more blue arrows on this one right here during the break, which probably for me would have been a break even. It's about to give one right here, though. If you get an up close on this and pulls it out of the oversold, it'll be a blue arrow right here and possibly a purple arrow on top of it. The outer band being blue right now. All right, but you're not going to know until that bar closes whether that's going to be a blue or purple arrow. Is David Z in here right now? No, he's not. Okay. Anyway, so we ended with plus 14 on the YM. The Russell, let's get into the Russell here. You crunch this up a little bit and slide it all the way over here. Okay, so on the Russell, our first trade in here on the Russell was there. We picked up 15 ticks on the Russell. That was our first trade. We didn't get the goal for the day. We're so close to getting the goal, but we didn't. We would have had it on the first trade. Actually, that would have been the second trade. The first trade was a break even on the YM. But we picked up 15 ticks there, and then we had a break even there, and another break even there, and then went from 15 to 21. So we had 6 ticks there, and then 1 more tick there to get us to 22. Another break even there, and that was it. Wow, it really flattened out during the break here. I haven't looked to see what the news event was today. I know we had consumer sentiment come out, but I don't know what it was. It really did move the markets when it came out. Okay, so the ES, we were doing so well on the ES, and then I stopped out. On the first trade here on the ES, we picked up 8 ticks on the first trade, and then 8 ticks on the second trade to get us to 16. Then I picked up something here on, I picked up 4 ticks on the first trade, and then 4 ticks on the second trade to get us to 8, and then 8 ticks on the third trade to get us to 16. That's how it worked. Then we stopped out and went back to 6. That was it. No more blue arrows in there. We had a couple of purple arrows. That one didn't go anywhere, and that one didn't go enough. So we had a couple of purple arrows in there, but no, no blue arrows at all. Right, and that's where we ended it with the yes. Help us make that better. No. And now the NQ. No. Alt. Do it from over here. Alt and back on this. All right. So on the NQ, our first trade in here, we picked up, we picked up 16 ticks on the first trade, right? And then we stopped out on one right after it. That was a mistake right there. I should add my stop or break even. We stopped out on that. So we're at plus 16, then it brought us to -4. And then we got 4 on that to bring us to 0. And then we stopped out here to get to -20. And then another 4 on that to get us to -16. And a break even. And had some nice blue arrows in there that I missed. All those blue arrows that I missed. And we get all the way over here. And I picked up 16 to get us back to 0. And then I stopped out and put us back to -20. This stop out was exactly to the tick right here. We got down one more and it stopped me out to the tick. And then it went up and would have got me out of break even anyway. Anyway, that was all that we did on the NQ. During the break, there was a blue arrow there that worked, a blue arrow there that worked, a blue arrow here that would have been a break even. So the second one would not have mattered. And that was it for blue arrows. All right. So let me go out here for a second. There's a couple of things that need doing, and I'll see if I can get them done right now. I was going to go out to the YouTube channel if I could. It's just not loading anything up from GoDaddy for me on this browser. So let me try it on a different browser and see if I can load it on a different browser. See, it's loaded here. Let me close that and go here. And the reason I'm doing this is because the stuff needs to be, I just need to hit publish. I put all the right information in last night. Anyway, the website needs to be updated. I was going to show you in here how to take the free trial and all that, but right now the website's not allowing me to do the update. That is just strange. That's 2 different browsers that it won't let me do it on. Let's close that and refresh that. Let me try this one more time on this one. I really want to get this right. So can you just a minute here? If you would just stay with me. Okay, and I'll click sign in over here. Sign in there. Did not remember all our stuff. And I don't remember it either. Okay, so it's not going to work from that browser. Okay, so in here right now, let's try here. Website builder, not loading. Let's try a brand new browser. Get new incognito window. I think this is going to do it. See in a second here. Yes, this is doing it. Any website, the incognito window did it. It's funny how fussy things can be sometimes. I don't see questions here. I don't see any questions in the question box. Okay, well, I thought the incognito was doing it, but now this is what I have. That's no good. We'll see if it comes around. It is. Okay. We hit preview on this and make sure the preview works. It does. Okay. Then I will hit publish. Choose where to publish. Okay, they are clearly having issues right now. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to get back to that. All right, well, let's just get into the trading right now. All right, if you want to take a free trial, go to tradingiq.com and sign up for the free trial. It's not going to take you there right now, but in a few minutes it will. They hit publish on this. It's asking me where to publish. It should not have to ask me that. Okay. And that. Anyway, I'm just going to trade. I'll fix that later. I can try to fix it from this other computer. It might be over here. I doubt it. So we don't have any trades right now. What we're looking for is for this to get out of the no trade zone. See the blue or the aqua background is a no trade zone. So we're not going to have any trades while it's in there. We're looking for that to pull back up over here on the NQ. That is the closest thing we have to a trade setup right now. Okay, is the NQ. Let me see in here. And without that, we don't have anything. Let's go look over here and see what Bitcoin's doing today. I was thinking Bitcoin was going to make a down day today after the pullback we had yesterday. A down day today would be good. Well, not good, but kind of expected. And we want to seek it all the way down here. I don't really want to see that, but I think that that's what's going to happen. Okay, and if we go over here to this one, look at this today. Did we ever get a long trade on this today? No, we never did get a long trade today. You know, one of the guys that was watching that's using the TV trades was asking why we don't get a blue arrow on every time it changes the background from red to blue. There are certain criteria that have to be met when it changes from red to blue. And if it does not give you the blue arrow, like this one right here didn't, there's a reason, right? This one right here didn't, there's a reason. Some of it is just the sequence of price action, the up closes and down closes, but the majority of it is based upon whether it qualifies. And, you know, usually the color changes most of what you need to get the blue arrow, but it's not everything you need to get a blue arrow. Okay. So that is just the way it is. I think if we have here, if I put this one on, I want to see when that lands on there. It hasn't landed yet. Yeah, see, it didn't put any arrows in there either. There's a version that I had at one point that had more arrows coming up, but it might have put an arrow on this one that stopped out, and this one would have stopped out, and this one, which actually did put one there. But these two right here, it would have put arrows on those two. And so the idea behind not having arrows on the ones that are likely to stop out, well, you get it right. All right. Yeah, there's definitely something wrong with GoToWebinar, not GoToWebinar, but GoDaddy right now. We can't even get to the thing to make the update. Let me try one other thing in here. If I go here to new window here, go there and there. Sign in. Put in that password. Sign in. All right, so on the NQ, we're pulling back. We're almost up. We are testing the ribbon right now, so we could have a shorting opportunity here on the NQ coming up right now. You're looking for a down close. Right now, because it's in the overbought, if it gives you a down close out of the overbought area, it's going to give you a blue arrow right now. Okay, it'll give you a blue arrow right now if it gives you that. There it is, the blue arrow. Okay. And that is the short right there. So we have the short going here on the NQ right now. Now my stop is in the complete wrong place. Well, actually, my stop should be 20 ticks away. It's the NQ. So it is actually in the right place. All right. Hey, good news. The site did finally publish on a different computer on an incognito browser on a different computer. All right. So right now on the NQ, what we're anticipating is it's going to get down through the swing low right here. We're looking for 8 ticks in profit, and we want the stop to break even. Okay. But each trade on the NQ has a 20 tick stop, right, and a 30 tick target. Okay. So now if we go here and we refresh this page and we click on this, this is how you sign up for the free trial. You go here to sign up for the free trial. Right, looks like we're going to stop out on this. I'm going to go back here and we can watch it over here. Hopefully it's going to push down to give us what we want. It should give us at least a lower swing right here. The other markets are starting to move down, but they're all in. We're in a no trade zone on the ES. It's kind of messy here. The Russell is at the low of the day right now. See right here, this is the low of the day here on the Russell, but the Russell is going to move lower. So I might take the NQ down with it. The Russell is going to go down here to 61.50. 61.50. We don't have a trade set up for it, but that's where the DOM says it's going to go. So I believe it. 61.50. That was in yesterday's lesson plan, how to read the DOM. Okay, that's where it's trying to get down to. Can't really do that so much on the NQ because it only gives you limited information in the DOM. You know, it does flash good information every now and then, like this one right here at 226.0. But it's not consistent with the information that it gives. So you can't really use the DOM as much in that. Okay, and we did end up stopping out on the NQ. Right, now everything was right about that trade. There was nothing wrong about that trade. It just was a stop out. Okay, all right, so the page is published with the new updated stuff on my trading IQ and in GoDaddy. GoDaddy must have been having a serious problem there. Okay, that's good. Everything is good there. This green arrow is no good right here, though. You can't take this green arrow because the blue arrow has to put in a lower swing. Anytime you get a green arrow or a blue arrow, it has to put in a lower swing to be able to take the follow-up trade after that. Okay, it's got to put in the lower swing after that. On the YM, we need that to pull back up and test the ribbon, and we need a lower swing there. So I don't see anything in there. Let me go out here and see on the YouTube. Did I close that browser? Oh, I think I got it open. I don't see the YouTube. Well, we'll just go there. And here it is. Okay. So I don't see any questions coming in the YouTube. And we need this to push all the way down and give us a lower swing. And over here on the YM, we need that to drop down and give us a lower swing as well. Now look at this. I want to see what the bigger picture looks like here. All right, you crunch it up. So we had an uptrend, and we had a big pullback in the uptrend. Okay, it's kind of hard to tell right here. It looks really messy. Let's look at it on the platform. Right, on the YM. Here's the YM right here. Okay. So it's sitting right on top of the BBC and the MA1. Now this is going to become an important area in the future. This spot right here. I'll put a rectangle on it. I'm hoping we get away from it. But when it's sitting on top of the MA1 and BBC like that, they're right on top of each other and it's sitting right on top of it. You're going to get a whole bunch of chop. And it's going to make some really messy trading. We're right in the middle of that messy trading right now. The YM's about to give a shorting opportunity on a down close right here. Okay. Let me go back for a second. All right, so you've got a high here, 613, subtract 8 from that. All right, so you'd be selling 505 on this. This is what it looks like. Okay, so if we get filled with once a spade, it's going to get down here to at least 593. Right? At least down here to 593. Right, now that's changed. We're still looking for the same swing low, but this is now changed to 206. All right, there's no guarantee it's going to be a trade now, though. And the reason is because we just hit the black line here on the pullback. That means that if we get it down close and it comes out of the overbought, it's going to be a green arrow. But if we don't come out of the overbought, it's going to give us no arrow and it won't be a valid trade. All right, so just close down, it traded me in, it gave me a ticket slip, and it's the no trade situation. And that. So I really need to get out of this. I should have taken that order off. Okay, there it is. Okay, well, I'm going to just bump it down to break even anyway. All right, it is working out. Now it's got the blue arrow, which is an okay trade to be in, so I'm okay with that. I'm going to leave it on right now. And this should get us down here to the prior swing low. That's a valid trade. The blue arrow is. So I've bumped 4 ticks into profit. And this would be 12 ticks if it hits the prior swing low, it takes us out. Okay, I'm looking for a reason to go lower than that. And there's like right here. That'd be 15 ticks if it gets down there. Now I'm going to trail my stop a little closer. We're now at +8, +10. It should, if it's going to bounce back up, it should do it right here at the swing low. You see the swing low, what we're looking for right there. So it did go the 12 ticks down to the swing low. We just got out with 10. Okay, I don't see any questions in here. Let me check the other question box and see if there's any over there. Down detector shows big problems with GoDaddy. Oh, it does, Joan? Okay. Well, that explains all the issues we're having updating the website. But I did manage to get it updated. I did it with an incognito window on a different computer, which is also on a different network. So right now, if you click on this, it goes to the right place. All right, the information for tomorrow morning. If you haven't taken a free trial with us and you want to take a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com. And click on the purple button. There is no credit card required for the trial. Once you click on that purple button, it's going to bring you to this registration page where all we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. Down at the bottom, give us your NinjaTrader machine ID or your TradingView login ID. If you have it, hit the register button. And we will be sent all the information. And after we're sent the information, we'll be able to get back to you and help you set up your trading platform. You want to make sure you get that trading platform set up at the beginning of your trial. Okay, so you're seeing what we're seeing all the way through. Okay, and those of you guys that have been working with me on the purple arrow stuff for the past week, all the alerts are coming out the way they should right now. The green arrow short, there's one there, exactly the right time. Green arrow long, right there, exactly the right time. Green arrow short, 3 times in a row, right there. Green arrow long before that, right there, exactly the right time. So all that is good stuff. And hopefully I'll get that release done. I'm going to put those tweaks in about the purple arrow that I found. And if I find other things that look great, then I'll do them too. But right now, that's what we're looking at. Okay. What time is it? Wow, it's 1:24 already. So we had the one stop out trade so far. This one stop out that we had on the NQ, on the YM. Or was it on the NQ? It was on the NQ. Sorry, the YM we didn't do anything with. We had this one blue arrow trade here. What did we get on that? We had a stop out and a profitable trade. I don't remember what we got on it though. 10 ticks, that's right. It was 10 ticks. We were looking for it to get down to the prior swing low. And it did. All right, so we have a purple arrow here. Now, once again, the purple arrows can happen in a no trade zone. All right, they don't care about the slingshot. They don't care about the no trade zone. All they care about is that the black line is in the right color and that the outer band is the right color and that you pulled away from and are pulling back to the ribbon. Okay, you pulled away from and are pulling back to the ribbon. That's all I care about. Yeah. All right. I don't see any questions come in, just one statement from Joan so far. Looking out in the YouTube, and again, I don't see anything going on over there. So Let's just wait till we have a trade set up. The NQ, we did put in a lower swing. It's getting set up here again right now for another shorting opportunity. This one right now has a high of 27.75. Now it's even higher. Okay, so now it's 29.25. And this is, again, because it just hit the green line, hit the black line. It puts us into a whole other category of trade. When it hasn't hit the black line, but it's hit the ribbon, you could get a purple arrow, you could get a blue arrow, you could get no arrow and still have a trade. But as soon as it hits the black line, then you have to come out of the oversold to get a trade. All right, so now the only chance is a green arrow. You guys get that? Let me just say that again so it makes more sense. All right. In here, the black just hit the green, so you don't have any. But as price is approaching the ribbon, like this one right over here on the Russell, for instance, prices hit the ribbon, right? So there's three possibilities right now. One is that it doesn't come out of the overbought, which would be no arrow. Two is that it does come out of the overbought, which would be a blue arrow. Three is that it does come out of the overbought and the outer band stays red, which would be a purple arrow and a blue arrow. Or four, it doesn't come out of the overbought, which would still be a trade. It's still a valid trade. It's a ribbon trade right there. Okay. So that's a valid trade from right there. If you had an order waiting, you would have just had a whole bunch of profit in that already. So this should go down using the stuff that we had in the lesson plan yesterday. You should see that this should go down through 2062 down to 61.7. Okay, we had this 61 point. I think that was a 61.7 a little while ago, and it dropped to 61.6 instead. That 61.7 number right there was a number a little while ago. So as I walked you through this, as it was hitting the ribbon, there were the different potential trades you could have here. When price hits the ribbon, if you're overbought, there's the potential for no arrow without coming out of the overbought. The potential for a blue arrow, if it does come out of the overbought. Potential for a blue and purple arrow, if the outer band is the right color and it doesn't hit the black line. Okay, those are the potential. And of course, the other potential is that it doesn't do anything. It closes up and it still stays overbought. Those are potential trade setups that you have. If it hits the black line, though, there's only one potential trade, and that's the green arrow. All right, it's got to come out of the overbought, and it's the green arrow. But once it just hits the ribbon, if it's just touching the ribbon and the black line is in the right color, then you have a lot of potential trades. All right, like right now, you can see it hasn't hit the ribbon yet, but it's just about to hit the ribbon right there. All right, so now it has hit the ribbon. If you hadn't taken this trade, this has all the potential for all those four trades that I just told you. Okay, a down close on this bar because it has hit the ribbon now. So if it closes down, it doesn't come out of the overbought, it's a ribbon trade, like the last one was. If it closes down, it does come out of the overbought, it's going to give you a blue arrow. It's not going to give you a purple arrow now because the outer band is not the right color. Okay, so you have no arrow at all. That's a potential trade. The blue arrow is a potential trade. And then not closing down is also a potential thing. It's not a trade, but it's a decision you have to make. Okay, now that the outer band is changed to white, if the outer band were red, there's a chance it could be a purple arrow too. Okay, we're doing the same thing over here right now on the NQ. See, we haven't hit the black line yet, but on the down close, it's going to pull the black line into the top of the bar. But this has all those potential arrows over here too. And the outer band on this is, what color is that? It's red. So you have the purple arrow potential on this too. Okay, because the outer band is the right color. Over here on the YM, you have all the same things except you just hit the black line here. We just hit the black line there, and we're about to hit the black line here. So that's going to ruin all the potential things and just make it potential green. Right now, there's not going to be a potential green over here because we're not coming from the overbought. So there's no arrow coming up over here, no trade coming up over here. Okay, and so we're waiting for this one to give us something here, and it hasn't yet. And it doesn't look like any of them are going to give us anything right now. We just have to wait and see. All right. Again, if you haven't taken a free trial with us and you want to, go here to mytradingiq.com, click on the purple. Oh, I've gone already. I didn't realize that. All right, go here to mytradingiq.com, click on the purple button. When you click on that, it's going to bring you to this registration page where all we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. And then down here at the bottom, you give us your Ninja Trading Machine ID. If you have it, you give us your TradingView login ID. If you have it, and hit register. When you hit register, you'll be sent everything you need to get into the room in the morning. Okay. And when you hit register, if you fill that out, give us your IDs. We'll be able to enable the indicators for you. Okay. So this ended up being a green arrow over here on the YM. All right. That's it, guys. I'm going to wrap it up and send it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona. Hopefully, we'll be able to get this latest release with the purple arrows and with the new alerts into you guys maybe over the weekend. Okay. Thank you all for coming today, and have a great weekend. We can pass it out to Dwayne, fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, at Studio A, overlooking South Mountain America's largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready, and it looks like he is.
Yes, sir. Recap of the morning session.
Today it took 10 minutes and 3 trades to get to $2,975.
Great job.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, we made it through all the way to the euro, which is still basically doing nothing, bouncing off the weekly zone. One last look at the daily chart. This high here is 52.5. Today's high was only 52.64. Okay, so basically we've spiked the area where we had the bearish cross. Unless buyers come in this afternoon and take us back to the high of the session, and I would look for a somewhat lower open Sunday night. So, and that's when we open for business Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. To become a member, go to mytradingiq.com. If you have any questions, call 949-42-EMINI or send an email to support@cfrn.net. 9 out of 10 new traders fail because they don't have a teacher. That's why we put so much emphasis on our live training room, 2 hours every trading day. It's an interactive environment, so you're not just listening to somebody rattle on. You're watching live trading in real time as you trade along in your demo account to qualify to go live, and you ask every question that pops into your head. Pretty soon you'll run out of questions because our methodology, our strategy is really quite simple. Now, not only do you have access to the live training room every day as a passport holder, but you have access to private one-on-one mentoring, strategy you learn, the indicators that you own as a passport holder are fluid across all markets and all time frames. Futures, stocks, crypto, Forex, ETFs, doesn't matter. Price flows the same across all markets and all time frames. From support, resistance, back to support, back to resistance, over and over, again and again. It's a never-ending cycle. You also receive the Logic 247 alerts, the concierge trade alerts, the trading zones, and you're able to attend the members-only workshop every Thursday night. And when you become a member, you get the key that unlocks all the private channels in Telegram. And in one of those channels are years of weekly workshops. Everything a trader needs, all under one roof. One low price. Let's wrap the week up with our good word for the day. Instead of worrying, trust God. Philippians 4:6. Don't worry about anything, but in everything, Through prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. Philippians 4:6. That's Paul writing, of course. He goes on to say, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. Worry is like sitting in a rocking chair. It's always in motion, and it keeps you busy, but it never actually gets you anywhere. In fact, if you do it too long, it wears you out. That's why we must learn to take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. 2 Corinthians 10:5. One medical expert says that we create about 30,000 thoughts per day. And an uncontrolled thought life can create a perfect environment for needless worry to thrive. The cause of worry is simple. It's the reluctance to trust God to take care of the various situations in your life. Most of us have spent our lives trying to take care of ourselves, so it takes a long time to learn how to trust God instead. And the only way you learn is by doing it. Each time you pray and turn the problem over to God, you experience His faithfulness. It makes it easier for you to trust Him next time. And when it comes to life's problems, there will always be a next time. So each time you begin to feel anxious, just say, I trust God completely. There is no need to worry. The more you think about this truth, the more you will find yourself choosing trust over worry. That's our good word for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. Wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you, His mercy, with His grace, and I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.